हेलो गाइस, कैसे हो आप सब। उम्मीद करते हैं आप सब बिल्कुल ठीक होंगे। आज हम दोबारा हाजिर हैं आपके सामने एक नई इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो लेके। आज की मेरे वीडियो का टॉपिक है हुक्स लॉ के हवाले से कि हुक्स लॉ क्या होता है। तो हुक्स लॉ ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी डिस्कवर्ड बाय द इंग्लिश साइंटिस्ट रॉबर्ट हुक इन 1660, which states that for relatively small deformations of an object, the displacement or size of the deformation is directly proportional to the deforming force or load. Fs is equal to माइनस के। Fs जो होता है वो स्प्रिंग फोर्स होता है, के जो होता है स्प्रिंग कांस्टेंट होता है और एक्स स्प्रिंग स्ट्रेच और कंप्रेशन होता है। इसके बाद आता है इसकी डेफिनेशन के। हुक्स लॉ स्टेट्स दैट द स्ट्रेन ऑफ द मटेरियल इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू द अप्लाइड स्ट्रेस within the elastic limit of that material. When the elastic material are stretched, the atoms and molecules deform until stress is applied, and when the stress is removed, they return to their initial state. उसके बाद देता है why is it called Hooke's law. The law is named after 17th century British physicist Robert Hooke. He first stated the law in 1676 as a Latin anagram. He published the solution of his anagram in 1678 as utensil 6, which means as the extension of the force, or the extension is proportional to the force. उसके बाद होता है what is spring physics. Hooke's law. Hooke's sought that demonstrate the relationship between the force applied to the spring and its elasticity. Hooke's law states that the extension of a spring is proportional to a load that is applied to it. A variety of materials obey this law as long as the load does not exceed the material elastic limit. इसके बाद होता है what is the formula for Hooke's law, where xl is the amount of deformation, the change in length, for example, produced by the force F, and k is the proportional constant and that depends on the shape and composition of the object, that the direction of the force. What is elastic limit of a body? Elastic limit is the maximum stress a material can withstand before the permanent deformation. It is the material highest limit before the material plastic deformation can occur. Once the stress or force is removed from the material comes back to the original shape. Who discovered Hooke's law? Robert Hooke was an English physicist best known for discovering the law of elasticity, or Hooke's law. In this blog post, we are going to cover everything. We are going to cover everything there is to know about Robert Hooke, from who is and what he discovered to his influence on modern science and manufacturing. कट्ठे रखे सो बस। What is K? Spring constant. The letter K represents the spring constant, a number which essentially tells us how stiff a spring is. If you have a large value of K, that means more force is required to stretch it a certain length than you would need to stretch a less stiff spring the same length. Why is K negative in Hooke's law? Though we have not explicitly established the direction of the force here, the negative sign is customarily added. This is to signify that the restoring force due to the spring is in the opposite direction to the force which caused the displacement. Why is Hooke's law important? Hooke's law also governs the limits of an object's elasticity. A metal spring, for instance, can only stretch so far before axis from causes it to break. In engineering, Hooke's law has a very practical purpose to ensure that components can withstand a pre-calculated level of force. What is spring force formula? F is equal to minus kx. The proportional constant k is called the spring constant. It is a measure of the spring stiffness. When a spring is stretched or compressed so that its length changes by an amount from its equilibrium length, then it exerts a force F is equal to minus kx in a direction towards its equilibrium position. What are the assumptions of Hooke's law? According to Hooke's law, strain produced in any body is directly proportional to stress applied within the elastic limit. Moreover, for a spring, F needed to extend or compress by some distance is proportional to that distance. So ये था मेरा हुक्स लॉ के हवाले से। ये आपको अच्छा लगा होगा। Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.